Let's see what random location we get this time.
Mm-hmm.
We are playing on ranked probability, so we're most likely to see plenty of Mars, but Io and Ceres could also sneak in here as well, 25% probability each.
Are you going to do the intro?
Sure.
Okay. And I will look around the map while you're doing the intro.
Group B got Io. Well, perhaps somebody's streaming that on Twitch. We'll have to check. We have Ceres. Hello, everyone. This is Philothentic with Rahi on the second Continuous Innovation Tournament. As you can see, we are on Ceres with Vatscar, Ian, NC Game Wizard, and Mighty Squirrel. We have expansive robots, inventors, and adaptives for Ceres. And Rahi, what do you think about this map?
This is a very, very hilly Ceres map. I don't see that much a landing spot, pleasant landing spot with a lot of building space. So I have not decided where I would found.
There's a bunch right here in the middle with all the silicon. I might try dropping an inventor there to crush the silicon to get like 1 silicon per second from HQ mining.
Yeah,
and then I
choice.
could use that to boost my steel with the retrofit that way. But robots are always a safe choice on this series, so I don't blame Vatscar or NC Game Wizard for their founds. Both of those look
an adaptive HQ has been
pretty decent. Adaptive from Mighty Squirrel, and now we're just waiting to see what Ian goes, and Ian goes with the expansive in the center.
I like that expensive spot too, because like the glass price is really, really high right now, and the colony is also consuming glass, so glass is going to be good market from HQ2, and landing right next to Silicon Patch will help with that.
Right. And they're probably gonna be the only one upgrading with glass. Mighty Squirrel's probably going to go for the electronics upgrades first. Yes, they have chosen to go into electronics. If you're just tuning in, we are on the Continuous Innovation mod, which Rahi and I are 2 of the 4 creators of the mod, along with Blues, who I believe I saw in chat a while ago, and then Hewitt, if I said
Hewitt,
yes. Not the easiest name to pronounce when you don't have it in front of you. Anyway, Adaptive is one of the new HQs in the mod, and they can upgrade with glass or electronics, their pick. Upgrading with electronics gives you a production bonus in 2 rings around your HQ, and upgrading with glass gives you a bonus to advanced building in 2 rings around your HQ. So in series, it makes sense to go for electronics. Go ahead, Rahi.
Considering that this is a Ceres map which is infamous for having very high prices overall, I like the choice of electronics for that reason too. The other reason is the upgrade cost. But because of the map limitations, Mighty Squirrel does not really have much building space to take advantage of that.
No, that's maybe the one downside of this exact location they picked. Ooh, underground nuke early from NC Game Wizard. On to the iron. They went for 2 iron right away. That seems potentially a bit high, but gonna save them if the nukes keep flying out.
The nuked iron can be used as a nuclear plant, because power does not really need much shipping.
Right, power's going up pretty high with all these robots out here on the map.
Yeah, but Mighty Squirrel decided to return it using the black market item return claim, which is really useful to have in hand.
Right, definitely useful on this series after the diminishing resources.
Sold.
A tile auction all the way over here, going to NC Game Wizard. Vatscar, while we were talking about Mighty Squirrels, the first to HQ3, powering through this quite decent robot found. They have some water nearby, plenty of iron, some uranium to go into power, which would be a good idea for lots of our players to go into power right now, especially if you're NC Game Wizard and you have 4 steel mills. NC Gamers are using 2 power per second.
Is open for business.
Ian has gone into triple chem refinery, and I am not I think I don't like about this choice because as we can see from the prices, chemical is not making much money at this point.
No.
And Ian is in the best spot to make glass, and glass was making a lot of money.
Glass also helps with that upgrade. Either that or they could go into some of this water and go into life support. Electrolysis reactors would, especially with the adjacency bonus, be a great idea to go into. Everybody onto HQ3 except for Ian. Squirrel has gone into 2 robotic upgrades. I do like that early. I do think on series you should probably squeeze in at least 1 glass upgrade so you can make your optimization centers work a bit better.
Yeah. You do have a colony of workshop, machine shop, so you can take advantage of that too.
Right. Yeah. Either way. So once like do go up to HQ4, I'd say probably with the robotics upgrades, and then take a look at the colony and see if you want to do that one last glass upgrade or not. That's kind of what my game plan would be if I was playing as adaptive right now.
It'd be a good plan.
Just now can hit that upgrade button. They finally moved into glass like you wanted them to do a couple souls ago.
Looks like Ian's plan is to make power money using this double solar panel, but because series solar panel turns up so quickly, so it's really difficult to take advantage of the power prices.
Right.
Finally, Ian is going to make some power money, hopefully.
Hopefully, they will get there and they will make some power money. Speaking of people who needed to make power, NC Game Wizard did finally build those nuclear plants, but they were power surged.
Yeah. It is difficult to defend yourself as a robot, and what's worse than robot is a robot in a cramped spot. So you will need a well-placed goon to protect your entire base from freezing in this type of bounds.
NC Game Wizard saying in chat that power surges should bounce across demolished buildings.
A robotics HQ has been upgraded.
Yeah, that's weird.
I would have thought that they did, but honestly I've not paid that much attention to how the power surge bouncing mechanics work because they're quite random. It might be I think it's the most random of the black market items in the game.
HQ has been upgraded.
Yeah.
We have 2 of our players on HQ4, both robots. That's not surprising given that robots take slightly less electronics to upgrade in continuous innovation than the vanilla game. So as a robot, you do want to be slightly ahead of the expansives and scientists, adaptives, and inventors, and elites, but you'll be a little bit behind the nomads and scavengers in your upgrade if you're staying on pace.
Ian ended up becoming the person who took the Palladium auction, but this is the case I think I would have passed on the Palladium auction unless it was super cheap, because Ian was the person who was relying on some power money.
Right.
And Palladium is not actually making net profit considering power price.
16k is a little bit expensive to pay for it when you're trying to make power money like Ian is.
Yeah. But, and also that there are 2 robots, and I'm not sure how Adaptive works out in the Palladium revenue.
Adaptive's a medium one, I believe. Like Scavenger or something like that.
Alright. But if you are the only person who goes into Palladium, I think it will be worth in the end. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just if them making the power money is the only reason why I wouldn't have done that if I was Ian. They're not suffering though. They have the second most cash plus resources on hand, and their HQ4 and Mighty Squirrel over here struggling a bit on HQ3. They decided to go into electronics, but electronics prices has crept up to 310 thanks to all those robots upgrading quickly. And they also went into power. Power went down. It's time to swap out of power if I'm Mighty Squirrel.
Nobody is producing food except for the colony, which is producing a trickle, which is although it's consuming more food than it's producing. So food prices crept up a lot as well. It's going to make a lot of money. I think it's the best market right now, next to electrolysis reactors.
My X key appears to have stopped working.
Mine is working.
I guess I will reboot off-world.
Right? Don't do it now.
No, when the game's done. Oh, that's why. I'm stuck in the chat.
Oh.
Okay, HQ5 for NC Game Wizard, which means NC Game Wizard 2 HQs ahead of Mighty Squirrel over here, who is struggling a bit as the adaptives. Mighty Squirrel could be bought out. That Scar also getting an HQ5, the first patent lab out. That Scar researching nanotechnology, which is a little bit worse than in continuous innovation than the base game. Nanotech only refunds 75% of resources when scrapping buildings, which is much better in line with its 60 chemical patent cost. Many of the best players would argue that the 60 chemical cost for nanotechnology for 100% resources should be 80 instead.
Yeah, it's a OP patent. I agree.
So we decided to tune it down just a little bit, and it seems to play quite well in this case. Ian, HQ5 as well. Blue's comment about anyone playing Inventor, not on our stream. And then NC Game Wizard actually dropped.
Oh.
We lost communication with NC Game Wizard. Well, that's quite unfortunate because they were doing quite well.
Yeah. Currently, I think Ian is in the best spot with the optimization center and expensive claims spread out. Also has a lot of money, the biggest amount of money at hand.
Mighty Squirrel over here is just suffering. They haven't gotten powers back up, but they're running out of money, so they weren't able to run their power plants. They weren't able to run their electronics plants either. And so they're just struggling over here in HQ3.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Congratulations.
The thing about Ceres is that sometimes if you're not making enough steel or have been selling steel, the steel price rises and rises, so that it gets really difficult to chase the upgrade. And so was the glass and electronics.
They $64,000 upgrade for them. They're finally just about getting there. The other problem they have is they never went into aluminum, so they're purchasing aluminum off the market. And it's 30k now worth of aluminum to the next upgrade. So this is just one of those things where you need to have those upgrade resources secured. Steel and aluminum. If you're playing as a basic resource upgrading faction.
Is open for business. Price manipulations to begin shortly. The black market is online.
I see the Scar optimizing water.
Let's check in on the optimization. That's our first optimization. center? No, Ian's had one up running for a little bit longer. 2 in glass, 1 in food.
I like Ian's upgrade choice more than that car's upgrade choice.
Yeah, no, it works out well for them.
But I guess Ian, that car does need that extra water with a -5 water at night, +2 water in day.
They're finally going for the liquid batteries, so that's good.
Oh, that was off the issue.
I might have gotten liquid batteries before thinking machines. Since Ian's going for solar condensers for their water supply.
Okay, I think this is the time where Ian should take a move on the stock, because Ian has a lot of money, and because of the way how stock prices work, it's a good idea to be the first aggressor in the stock market.
Yeah, I didn't know. Just noticing now that Ian bought all of their stock, and they still have $240,000. So yeah, now's the time to buy into that Scar before that Scar secures their own stock, and then it becomes a lot harder. You'll be that much further ahead, and won't have to worry about your C debt as much. This next debt tick might push them down into D debt.
Okay, auction on medium aluminum. Even if you don't want this tile, there is 4.5k return claim, so it is worth a claim at least. That Scar wants this claim, and aluminum is actually really high.
Mighty Squirrel wants the claim, because they need $57,000 worth of aluminum to upgrade. They're going for teleportation, but I still don't see any aluminum that they're bringing in, and aluminum is $156,000. It's not very often that you see aluminum that high outside of series. We have our fight between our two top players, that Scar and Ian. Ian in D debt, which is what we were worried about a moment ago. And they have this hacker ray, which I don't think they've been using.
Let's see, charts and graphs. That Scar has used one shortage of water, surplus on food, and shortage on power as well.
A handful of times, but maybe not quite as well as you would want to see them using it.
Our methods continue to improve.
But now Mighty Squirrel's going into 3 aluminum. A bit of an overreaction in terms of the time, but that should get them up to HQ 5.
That price has been up there for a long time, so yeah, I think it's a good choice to transition triple glass into triple aluminum.
That Scar seems to be in a very good position right now. Sure, they don't have as much stock of Ian's purchased, but they have enough money to if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And looks like they're getting the better of the black market war.
The engineers have advanced our production.
And they aren't in C debt. In fact, they have no debt whatsoever.
The patent lab
and are making power money.
Let's get our science on.
Let's see how much debt Ian Arcad has accrued.
The black market is open for business.
Ian's interest charge was 43k. It is not as much as I thought.
Well, it is half interest charge in series, I believe, since it happens more often.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
Filthy pirate auction. You
This will be worth a lot.
Snag some aluminum, and it might be worth $20,000.
Yeah, but not Not that much.
Maybe a bit
Because
less.
pirates are so slow to deal, and you're almost close to buying an opponent. So currently, is somebody hacking Cam?
There's another
Look at the
natural
chem price.
chemical shortage. There's been
Oh,
2 of those in the past 3 to 5 souls, I want to say.
there's one shortage on Cam caused by Ian.
Okay, so 3 stacked in a row then.
Pirates. I hate this
Mighty
filthy
Squirrel
bandits.
finally at HQ 5,
Wow.
and they are quite
This would
far
have been
behind
a
the pack.
good move. The Cam refinery have been making $100 per second if it was not frozen. So attacking on that tile was really good, but it was a little bit too late.
Yeah, look at Ian's chemical refineries here. Once they get back up and running, they're making $900 per second.
Market misinformation in progress.
Right? That scar has 100%, and it's
Yeah,
been a while.
Ian's gone into perfect chemical research. No wonder chemical prices are so high.
Yeah,
They've been spending a lot on chemicals to purchase those chemicals. I'm sorry. Spend a lot of chemicals to produce the chemicals better.
Price
alright.
manipulations to
Now
begin
we
shortly.
will be waiting for that scar to gather enough money to buy Mighty Scroll. Mighty Scroll has finally caught up in upgrading, but it's a little bit too late.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately for them it is a little bit too little, too late. And they will be bought up by that scar eventually. I don't know if all the players are aware, but when you use FFA ranks, you can concede when there are 2 players left, and if you're in a insurmountable position like this, it won't hurt your
The pending market
rankings
adjustments,
whatsoever.
The black market is online.
But not everyone's familiar with FFA ranks, how it works, so you can't blame them for playing it all the way to the end.
I think the Scar Prop has enough money right now in the stock of their own.
Yeah, they could probably just sell out that stock and win.
The black market is open for
Let's
business.
see what went right. That Scar has purchased 38k power but produced 286k in power, which is
Very good.
very good amount of money for power money.
Yeah, we did implement one of Death Tacticus's suggestions to lower the starting price of power from 40 to 30. One of those small balance changes, but despite that, this is a series. The power price is going to be high. That Scar has the red buy button and takes it. So that Scar first, Ian second, Squirrel up at third, and MC Game Wizard at fourth.
Congratulations for that Scar for the victory.
Oh, right. That's why MC Game Wizard got punished for leaving early. Even though it wasn't their fault from the rankings. So we might adjust that on the spreadsheet.